This was the word echoing in the ears of all the visionary individuals on Friday the 19th of October at Comesa Hall in Blantyre. Business Consult Africa on this day launched an exciting program for the business world with the theme Entrepreneurship Revolution. This program is aimed at training at least 200,000 people interested in doing business in Malawi. This launch was also a platform for Business Consult Africa to explain the dream that it has of training new and existing entrepreneurs identified, organized, trained, mentored, motivated, inspired, and supported in Malawi over the next 5 years, therefore collectively creating 1 million jobs.
There will never come a time when money will ever be enough.
Sponsors of this grand occasion included FDH Bank and New Building Society NBS.
We deserve a rich, economically prosperous, free and peaceful Malawi.
Speakers included well-known and successful business gurus who had so much to share and to inspire the large audience that flocked in to learn new ideas on this innovative program.
And we are here because we are people that believe in visioning.
The host of this occasion, Mr. Dan Dunga, began by welcoming all the present guests and gave a brief overview of the visionary plan that is set to take off. This program is set to boost Malawi's business world, inspire young and upcoming entrepreneurs, but not limited, and help in the development of this country.
Save now, not later.
First speaker to take the podium was founder and managing director of FDH Bank, Mr. Tom Mpinganjira.
Let me acknowledge my fellow business people from the private sector. I'm told that we don't have people from the public sector. But if there's anybody from the public sector, please, you are also acknowledged. I have 30 minutes to speak, and I do not agree with the... Sorry, not that I do not agree. I will not be able to do what the Master of Sermon has said, because it's not about me today. It's about opening a function, an event that is going to make change, bring change in the lives of people for the next 5 years. A revolution. I noticed if there's a story about me in a magazine called The Success Guide, if I can get hold of a copy, this is where you can find the story. So today it's not about me or about FDH, but it's about the revolution we are going to witness. So, who is an entrepreneur? That's the first question I would like to tackle. I looked at my dictionary, ordinary English dictionary, and it says an entrepreneur is a person who attempts to make a profit by starting their own company or by operating alone in the business world, especially when it involves taking risk. I think there are a number of key issues there. Number one is to make profit, and number two, to start their own company or operate business alone or with others, and number three is to take risk. So if you are not ready or prepared to take risk, there's no way you can become a successful entrepreneur. Risk is part and parcel of entrepreneurship. Business Consult say that they are privileged to lead the entrepreneurship revolution in Malawi through a 5-year program that seeks to recruit, organize, train, mentor, coach, inspire, motivate, and support 200,000 entrepreneurs, both existing and potential, to help them establish, develop, and grow their own businesses, each with the potential of creating 5 jobs on average and collectively creating 1 million jobs by 31 December 2017. That's 5 years from now. When we were approached as an institution, FTH Bank, to partner Business Consult Africa in this event, I will not say how much is involved, but all I can say is that without hesitation, when our MD came and we sat and discussed, within 5 minutes this was approved. We had no hesitation whatsoever because we know what it means. In fact, we know that the growth area in this country is the small and medium enterprises. And who are behind small and medium enterprises if not entrepreneurs? So we are very excited to partner with the Business Consult Africa as a Malawian business so that we can work together and grow together with other Malawians who are interested to go into business. I am saying that it may sound like a far-fetched dream, 200,000 entrepreneurs, 1 million jobs, and it is actually modest, 5 employees for every entrepreneur or every business. In my view, that is modest, but I think it's always nice to be modest so that, you don't have to overstretch yourself. It's not a far-fetched dream. In the USA, 54% of all taxpayers are employed by small businesses. And this statistic, if you want to check it, just go and listen to the debate that took place 2 nights ago between Obama and, what's the other guy? Romney. Obama and Romney. That's where I got this statistic. 54% of all taxpayers are employed by small businesses in America. And this 1 million jobs by 200,000 entrepreneurs, to me, is not something that is far-fetched. It is actually realistic. To give an example of the FTH group, when we started in 2002, we were only 7 employees, including the driver, the messenger, and myself. Only 7 of us. On Monday, last Monday, when Business Consult were collecting information from us, I learned that we are 273 employees. And when I checked this morning, we were 280. This is because we are growing. We'll be opening Zomba branch, I think, next week on the 22nd. So we continue to recruit people. That's why I'm saying this is doable. This is nothing. But it depends on you and me and all of us in here to understand what is expected of us and to do it. We can achieve this, and I know we'll achieve this. Fortunately for this type of program we are talking about, it doesn't require anybody to come and do things for us. For example, to create an enabling environment. For example, government. You can spend years and years discussing with government. Here, this is within our control, so we can do it, and we should do it. Talking about the entrepreneurs, just to remind each other, let's remind each other. Some examples of successful businesses that were started by entrepreneurs in developed economies. Microsoft, started by Bill Gates, an entrepreneur. now one of the largest companies in the world, most successful. The Hathaway Corporation by Warren Buffett. Apple by Steve Jobs. Facebook by Mark Zuckerberg. Virgin by Richard Branson. They were all started by individuals. They were not started by government. They were not started by big companies, institutions. They were started by individuals, slowly, small, and they grew. So why not in Malawi? Of course, I can cite a few other examples from Malawi. We've got the likes of Mpata Holdings, Gaga Construction, we've got the Anne's Lodges, we've got Mike's Training, we've got many others. Recently we saw Cement Products, a big project started by individuals, Malawians. So it is possible. And that's why I applaud the Business Consult Africa for bringing us together in one place where we can start learning and understanding, and in fact, perhaps shadowing successful Malawian businesses so that we can all benefit from their experiences. So the question is, why can we not do it in Malawi? And what is it that we need to do, or we need not to do? There are certain things we should do, but maybe there are certain things we shouldn't do if we want to graduate into serious businesses. When I was preparing my paper last night, I thought I should focus on one key issue that most of us do not really focus on before we do anything or before we embark on a journey, and that is vision. A lot of us will, in Malawi, will get into business because our neighbor, our friend, our classmate, our fellow employee or our fellow church member has gone into this business. So I also go into this business. You don't even know how long it took this person to plan to get into this business, what was involved. Everybody just wants to jump into a business and be like the next door neighbor. It doesn't work like that. You have to have a vision. And as the wise king of Israel, Solomon, stated in his book of Proverbs, where there is no vision, the people perish. Proverbs 29, verse 18. We should learn from history that if you just do things just because you are seeing others doing it, or just because you just join the bandwagon, you are likely to head nowhere because you have no idea where you are headed. Just like the Israelites, as you read in the book of Numbers, in their famous exodus from captivity in Egypt to the promised land of milk and honey in Canaan, because the Israelites lacked a vision or ignored God's vision for them, a whole generation perished. A journey of a fortnight took them 40 years wandering in the wilderness and perishing in the process. So it is the same when we talk about business, setting up a business. You just don't join the bandwagon. You just don't do things because others are doing them. Of course, I have heard that Ogavita Wachirendo, I don't know what you are going to achieve. You don't even know why they are doing it. But that's what most of us do. Vision is the source of personal and corporate discipline. Personal discipline. Let me focus on this. Vision is the source of personal discipline. Vision is what gives you the picture. It provides you with a picture. You know, it answers the question, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to be? What do I want? And so on and so forth. For example, what do you want to be in 5 years from now? Vision. That's what business consultants are trying to impart to us and get us on board to join them. Vision helps us to visualize. And I want to give an example of an architect. How many of us have not seen an exciting house that has not even received approval by the city council. You have not even found money anywhere to be able to build that house, that mansion. How many of us have not been so excited just by looking at what the architect has drawn? This is how your house is going to look. Don't we all get excited? We do. We get excited even long before we have paid the architect. First sketch, you are so excited, this is going to be my house. That's what vision does. That's what vision is all about. Vision is all about showing you where you will be when you have arrived. And that's what drives vision. That is what then drives you to work very hard, to plan, to do whatever is required in order to arrive. So many of us, virtually most of us here, have built houses. And you agree with me that you start from nothing. Maybe you buy a piece of land, you ask an architect to draw something, they cost it for you, then you start looking for money, then you start deciding where to get your things, whether in South Africa, whether in Blantyre, whether in China, or whether in the UK. You put together a team that can build, and after 3, 4, 5 hard years, you move into the house. Very excited. It's because you had vision. Perhaps we have not realized that we had vision. We used vision to take us to where we are, so we ended up 3, 4 years later having built our house. So we need to have a vision. A picture of the exact likeness of how a completed building will look like when it is completed. The thing about vision is that if you have no vision and you decide to go into business and you don't even know where you want to be or where you expect to be, the first problem that you meet on the way, the first challenge, the first hurdle, you are likely to give up. Because you have no idea, because you didn't give time to thinking about what you want to do. You give up, first hurdle. Now, when you hear the stories of people like Richard Branson, he probably tried hundreds of ideas before he finally ended up where he is. It's not easy. It's never easy. If you read in this book, Success Guide, how difficult it was to set up the company, to get a license, to raise money, and then to be rejected by the authorities to say no after you have already spent. I know when I say 5 million today, everybody says, what is 5 million? But I can assure you, in 2000, an employee, and you have used 5 million kwacha of your own money, and the minister says, no, not approved. It's never exciting. But you don't give up, because you know, how can I throw away my 5 million kwacha? I will get what I want because I can't throw away my 5 million kwacha. That's what you need, commitment. I would have given up at that time in 2000, and I didn't give up, and here we are. That's why you need vision. Yet, as entrepreneurs owning businesses, we have either met with little success or have not successfully grown our businesses to the same level or stature as in our previous occupations. Why am I saying this? A lot of people who have gone into business have either been very successful engineers, managers, consultants, accountants, whatever you can call them, in their previous life, running huge businesses and huge companies, and earning big names for being successful managers in the public and the private sector. In fact, some of them have set up companies, and yet, as entrepreneurs, owning businesses, we have not mirrored that same level of success as individuals or as entrepreneurs. And I've done an analysis, and it seems to me that the first hurdle that we have is a lack of access to capital. But you can never find capital unless you have an idea that you can excite people. And you can never excite people if you don't have an idea. So it's a vicious circle. So you got to start with a dream, a vision. Something that you can sell to people in order to access capital. However, a lot of us, we blame the lack of access to capital as the reason why we're not doing well or we haven't been successful in business. In my view, that might be true, but I don't think that is all there is. My own assessment is that this failure is also due to a number of other reasons, which are well within our control. And these include, but are not limited to, when you want to set up a business, the mistake most of us make is to assume that from day one you'll be trading and receiving cash. Never happens that way. If it happens that way, then you're in a routine, ordinary business. It doesn't. You probably spend money. For example, I started spending money in January 2000, but the business only started in April 2002. That's how long it took, from the time the first one kwacha was spent to opening the business. But even when you get to the time when you're saying you're opening the business, you must, as a rule of thumb, be financially prepared. And if possible, have at least 6 months of cash, money, or buffer, such that you can still survive even if you do not make money for the first 6 months of your business. Anything between 3 and 6 months, but 6 months is probably more realistic. Because in real life, revenues take time to start flowing in. And so this buffer will sustain you. You still have to pay your rent, you have to pay your employees, you have to eat, you have to pay your own expenses for the company, expenses for the home. So when you are doing a business plan, please incorporate a 6 month buffer to cover all the expenses. Otherwise, within the first month, you're already struggling. You are now eating the capital because whatever you do that comes in, you're already spending it. Number 2, we love living a lifestyle instead of living a life. When God made us, what did He give us? Fruits and nuts in the Garden of Eden to survive. But of course, in today's world, you just can't eat fruit and nuts to survive. But that's enough for you to survive, for us to survive. But no, the problem we have is that we want to live a lifestyle instead of living a life. As a result, the hard-earned money, the capital, hard-earned capital that we have invested in our business disappears faster than we can make to replace it. What am I saying? I'm saying it is important to develop a savings and investment or reinvestment culture. We should desist from a life of conspicuous consumption and showing off. We should be financially disciplined, consume less and save more and invest more. That is the only way in which a business can grow, a business can be sustained. There are certain things one must do. You've got to forego nice holidays, you've got to forego nice cars in the early years of your business until the time when you can afford these things. You cannot say, I was a CEO or I was a manager, this is the car I was driving, I'm starting my own business, I want to live the same life. It's not possible. So we should avoid showing off. Showing off kills us quite a lot. We want to be seen to be like the next guy. And some of these guys have been in business for years. Some of them have inherited those businesses from their parents. How can we compete with them when we are just on day one? Number 3, this is my business empire syndrome. That kills us quite a lot. This is my business empire. finished. Who are you to tell me? What can you tell me? If you are smart and you know what to do, why don't you just go and set up your own business? Why are you wasting time trying to advise me? I know what I'm doing. That